Hello everyone and welcome to the crypto session brief. We're at the start of a new trading week. This is Monday the 16th of May 2022. Before we get started with the main markets for the session ahead, we'll look up, let's see how the weekend trade went. Just a few things I wanted to touch on first. Firstly, the most recent Trading Talk episode, which was published by us and one of the traders on the desk, Charles, that was published on Friday just gone, was basically covering a crypto trading strategy using full automation, of course, fully algorithmic trading here at TradeView, and basically his strategy that he uses on Bitcoin in particular, and how he was able to take advantage of this recent sell-off in BTC in particular. But it is something he runs on other cryptos as well. So I just thought I'd highlight that for those who tune into these briefs, so you can go into the Trading Talk section should you have access, and you can build that exact strategy. And I think it's part one of the overall model, because it is rather big. I think that's going to carry on in the next few Fridays. I thought I'll cover that first before we head on into the technicals and what we got for the session ahead, the week ahead, where we're at right now, of course. So Bitcoin currently tracking at that 30,000, pretty much on that exact handle as we speak. Of course, round number, psychological handle, goes without saying. We filled the gap from Friday's close. We had a bit of a rally over the weekend, but that hasn't been able to be sustained on Monday's trade. Bit of a risk-off sentiment sweeping across markets with some poor numbers coming out of China regarding production and retail sales. So all of that not looking too great in China. So that's just had a knock-on effect for Asian equities on the open, and then also European equities just seeing that follow through into its own session. So US session comes online soon. Which way is that flow going to continue? Of course, we'll be looking at the US equities soon, and that Nasdaq in particular is where we've been seeing that real close correlation. In fact, the correlation between BTC and the S&P is now at its highest that it's ever been, basically. So really moving in tandem right now, both of these markets. So you got BTC 30k above here, short term at least bullish into 33, around that 32,897 handle I've got on here. Below here, we drop back down below, we put in another lower high, which shouldn't be surprised about, to be honest. We've had quite a few since that test of the upside channel there, and also the 200-day moving average, big rejection off that, and a move back below and retesting the 27,000 handle is looking more likely if that was to occur. Some interesting looking daily candles here. That one on, I think that was Wednesday last week. Big reversal pin bar, finished up being a doji, and then you had a reversal pin bar, but in the other direction the following day. So a lot of indecision around these areas. Another leg down into 24,000 shouldn't be ruled out though, especially if equities do head low as well. Looking at Ethereum, currently just trading above the 2,000 handle. So again, psychological handle, you're at 30,000 on BTC, you got 2,000 here on ETH, and now you can see a move up into 23 could be on the cards if they hold above 2,000, if they sustain this 2,000 handle, and move in the short term at least into 2,300. But then of course you'll be watching for potential another lower high being published and posted around the 2,300 area. The move below 2,000 suggests we could see 1,700 again to retest that most recent low if the 2,000 level doesn't hold. Litecoin, where we at, we've tried to see a bit of a bounce, and we're seeing moves back into 75. A rejection off the 75 handle can see us trade back down into 50 though, but a move up above the 75, you start to think, okay, well maybe just a pause around here at least to start some consolidation, try and settle before the bulls try and push it back into 88. But of course, just to reiterate, it's all very much dependent on overall market sentiment, and I'm still relatively bearish on risk assets overall right now, given the macroeconomic environment which we're currently in. Ripple currently at 0.4190. You can see all these daily highs over the past few days have been looking promising. You basically had each daily low above the previous one, which is of course promising. You had a doji bar on Friday, which we were able to break out over the weekend, but today with that risk off sentiment moving back low and basically faded that and back down, trading just below where we were on Friday's close. So Ripple, where do we go from here? 4.4443 is overhead, and then of course that big 50 cents handle, which we saw a big break below recently. Below here, you're looking down into the 0.3345 area. Could be argued some pretty good buying opportunities around about here on Ripple. You're coming into some of these areas here that we've seen some resistance off in the past. Can that turn into support? We've already seen the bounce, and the last time we were trading down near the 50 cents handle, I mean, we moved up to almost $1 within within less than a month. I think that was actually in 2 weeks of trade, and after such a fall, I think this is probably one of the largest moves down that we've seen on Ripple. Of course, excepting the huge crash that we saw in 2021. It must be said this has been a much steadier downtrend, you could say, rather than the volatility that we saw there. But nevertheless, at 0.4185, just to get back to where it was trading, basically in let's say, well, when was this? This was basically at the start of this month, 2 months ago. So that'd be a 50% move back higher from here. I'm not saying or encouraging it right now, because again, still relatively bearish on risk assets, but it is something I'm watching quite closely here on Ripple. Pretty much it from mine. That's all I wanted to share for today's crypto brief. Hope everyone's doing well. Stay safe and happy trading.